In today's video, we are going to be recording a well-known Disney song, How Far I'll Go, from Disney production Moana. The first step is to rearrange some music to play for basically just violins. Let's do that. We'll do a quick montage into that. I found this piano score that I really like, and it's arranged by Nolan Yoshimoto. This is basically How Far I'll Go by Moana, and this is their rearrangement of it. Let's just give it a quick listen to. So to rearrange, we're gonna do a new file, and we're gonna do a blank one. We are going to do a letter size, just keep it normal. We're gonna go to the string section. I'm a violinist, so we are going to, how many did I say? I think we said 6. There we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The time meter was 4/4, I believe. Yep, that's good. 88 beats per minute. Let's see if it starts with a pickup. It does not, so we don't need to do that. We said it was an E major. Six violin parts and 5 measures that are just completely empty. So this might be cheating. I think it's just using my resources at its finest. I don't want this video to get too long, so I might time-lapse this part, but basically I'm taking the notes from the piano score, copying and pasting them over to the violin score. That's basically how I make music. It's really easy, really simple. Okay, after a grueling process, that is finally done. Let's hear it. It sounds very good. So now we're gonna do the melody part. But yeah, okay, so this looks pretty clean. So that's basically it for the piano score. If you want to listen to it a little bit, I mean, not the piano score, the violin score, sorry. Let's just give it a listen to and just see how it sounds. As I've mentioned before, and I think I made a mistake of calling it a 1-2-6-5 chord progression, it's a 1-2-6-4 chord progression. So we have the major 1, minor 2, minor 6, and then a major 4. I'm gonna shout out one of my high school teachers way back, well, I guess it was like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. It really stuck out to me because I find him as an excellent composer. He's great, and he's a fantastic drummer. Basically, what I want to say is that he shared something to me, like, as a composition tool, is that, like, change it up the 3rd time. And basically what that means is that as listeners, when we're listening to music, you don't want to write the same thing 3 times in a row and let it be played 3 times in a row, because you'll lose your audience attention. They'll lose engagement in it, right? They won't be as engaged as if something was changed a little bit, because then the human ear can kind of grasp that change and like, oh, this is interesting. We might be going to a new thing. I don't know if that makes sense. You can think of that in a much larger scale. Like when you think of a song, right? It's usually verse 1, verse 2, and the chorus, right? That's the 3rd time. The chorus is a 3rd thing and it changes, right? Or you can think of it as like a smaller scale, like a chord progression, right? This is a 1-2-6-4 chord progression, does that 2 times, and then it switches the chord progression, and it also changes the 4 chord into a minor, right? It's not 4 major, it's 4 minor, so A, C, natural, and E, and not A, C sharp, E, which is the major 4. That kind of invokes that feeling of like a little bit of longing and a little bit of sadness. And I can't remember what the lyrics there are, but I'll have to like put it on the screen. If we listen to this again, Do you feel that a sense of longing right there? Right, there's a lot of momentum because it's not going back to the 1, right? We're going to the 4, then to the 6, and then to the 5, and then to the 1, and then to the 4, right? It changes that chord progression, and there's a little bit of momentum being built right there. It's just great writing. I'm just gonna keep it there for like theory and analysis. And shout out to my musicianship 3 and 4 teacher. I'm using the skills that you taught me. That's basically the first step. We're gonna go to the next part, and that is recording. We are going to be recording How Far I'll Go from Moana. And as always, we're going to start with the last violin part, which is violin 6. All right, let's get into it. The first step is to adjust your gain. So we're going to be adjusting this. And you might tell that the audio just got louder. It's because I just turned up the gain. And we're going to play as loud as we think we are going to be playing. So it's pretty loud. Let's turn it up a little bit more. Not too loud. We're gonna record just a little bit before 1. Let's just start recording and see what happens. Alright, so that is the first. I'm a little concerned that this is too loud. So I won't be doing a lot of talking. I'm just going to be recording, and I'll probably time-lapse all this footage. You guys don't have to hear all of it. Alright, this is violin 5. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next violin part, violin 4. Okay, perfect. We're gonna move on to a violin 3 now. Okay, we are going to a violin 2 part. Okay. Let's record the first violin part. Let's end the recording right here. But let's just give this a listen to.
So it sounds very, I think, lovely, and hopefully.
We're gonna start mixing and mastering, and basically what mixing and mastering is, just in case you haven't watched my last video, it's just to make everything a little bit better. Basically, we're gonna adjust the levels and adjust the pans to do that. So let's just give this a listen to, and we'll just adjust in real time. Okay, so I think for the most part, it sounds okay. EQing is pretty simple. All we're going to be doing is just focusing on this violin part, which is the lowest violin part. And we're going to be seeing all these waves that are happening. These are happening in real time. And you can hear the difference, right? So this is everything that is above 2000 hertz, roughly. And then we're just gonna copy and paste this to the other violin parts. Let's just listen to these four. I want to hear a little bit more higher end on these parts, so I'll open up a little bit. Yeah, that sounds nice. Okay, so that's all we need for that. And then we're gonna EQ the first violin part. Let's solo it. Okay, we're gonna be compressing it now. Basically what this is going to be doing is that it's going to take the higher frequencies and the lower frequencies and kind of compress it together so it's a little bit more consistent, if that makes sense. So I like the vintage one, I mean the studio one. I actually do like the vintage one too, but I think we're going to do the studio one similar to last videos as well. But let's just solo this and just give this a listen to. And it's very subtle changes. We're not compressing it like crazy or anything like that. But let's just copy this over. But let's just listen to this. Okay, so I'm hearing something that I'm not wanting, and I hear like my fingers moving. Yeah, I think it's right here. So let's just clean this up a little bit. Perfect, that sounds great together. Now for the biggest trick is, let's see how everything sounds together now. That sounds great so far. Let's start adding some effects now. We're gonna do some bussing right here. We're gonna do 4 like we did last time. So for the most part, it sounds pretty good right now. So what we're gonna be doing, this is our stereo out channel, which is basically all of the little channels, so like 1 through 6 are going into one big channel, which is a stereo out. So let's add a limiter. We are going to be doing like 4 milliseconds look ahead. I guess we want this to be like studio-like, so maybe like 3 like that. Output level, we want a -3. And we're gonna raise the gain up until we see a -3 reduction. Okay, I think that sounds good for the most part. We're gonna master, let's just listen to it. And that's basically it. That's pretty much it with this part. I hope you guys enjoy this final part. Thank you guys so much for watching. Guys, did you enjoy that video? Please let me know if you did. I would love to do more of these recording blank blank and kind of showing the process of what I do to make these recordings. But if you want to see more content like this, please leave a like and subscribe and comment down below what song should I do next. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Stay sharp.